Hey everyone, welcome back to Installation 00, and today we continue our look into exemplary individuals in this new subcategory of lore and theory that I'm officially calling service records. As you may already be aware, we have already looked at Fred 104 and his exceptional tactical and strategic capabilities. And for Cannon Fodder episode 117, we looked at John 117. Today, we continue in this same vein and look at one of the most accomplished and recognisable Spartans in the UNSC, Kurt-051. Lieutenant Commander Kurt Ambrose, UNSC MID 0458 88947, Civilian Identification Number 56522 026 LDR 5685, born Kurt M. Trevelyan, and formerly known as Spartan 051, was a Spartan 2 super soldier. He was formerly the leader of Green Team and was close to many of the other Spartans before he went missing during a mission in 2531. Although the other Spartans were led to believe that Kurt had died, he was actually recruited by Colonel James Ackerson to spearhead the Spartan 3 program. The name Ambrose was given to him by Colonel Ackerson after his abduction due to the fact that Kurt actually could not remember his full name as a result of extensive mental conditioning involved in the Spartan 2 program. During his training, Kurt quickly proved himself to be considered one of the program's top candidates. Both Dr. Halsey and Chief Mendez identified him as one of 4 emerging leaders within the Spartan 2 group, along with Jerome 092, Frederick 104, and John 117. Chief Mendez expressed his belief the most strongly in Kurt as having the skills to lead the entire Spartan group, although Halsey disagreed, instead believing John would fulfill that role. Kurt's leadership skills were correctly observed, as he later became one of the earliest known leaders of the Spartan 2's Green Team, which would often beat John's Blue Team in field exercises. Kurt was unusually sociable for a Spartan and considered the well-being of his teammates more important than the whims of his commanding officers. While the rest of his teammates were closely guarded and private unless around other Spartans, Kurt spent a considerable amount of time making friends, such as with drill instructors. This made some of his fellow Spartans uneasy, as they were not comfortable with a leader who was so easily distracted. Despite these perceptions, Kurt proved himself to be an extremely proficient leader. After his indoctrination into the Spartan 3 program, his leadership qualities became even more pronounced. While training the Spartan 3s, he took great pride in them, and their losses traumatized him. Kurt had an uncanny ability to feel traps and avoid walking into them. When something was wrong, Kurt would often get a bad feeling. When Kurt and John 117 were on separate teams during training, John often lost as a result of Kurt's funny feelings. His teammates grew to view this as an asset, trusting Kurt's instincts and common sense. Kurt was amongst the best of the Spartan 2s, right next to John 117 in skill and superiority. Kurt, Fred, Fahad, Musa, and Serin are the only Spartan 2s to become officers. Kurt was promoted to Lieutenant Commander, courtesy of Colonel Ackerson. He last donned his Mjolnir armor during Spartan 3 Alpha Company's introduction to the program, but chose not to wear it since, although he maintained the suit in a pristine condition in a safe within his private quarters. Lucy, B091, was thoroughly surprised when she saw the armor, suggesting that Kurt had not shown even his senior NCOs. Kurt cared deeply for each of the Spartan companies he trained, and was profoundly distraught by the deaths of the entire Spartan 3 Alpha Company in Operation Prometheus, attributing their demise to the loss of unit cohesion. He vowed not to let future Spartan generations share their fate and focused on honing the Spartans' teamwork capabilities when training Beta Company. Nevertheless, Beta Company was also wiped out almost entirely in Operation Torpedo, despite Kurt's efforts. After the destruction of Beta Company, Kurt managed to have the two remaining survivors, Tom B292 and Lucy B091, reassigned to accompany him and Mendez in training Gamma Company. He had to appeal to Vice Admiral Parangoski, who eventually agreed, over Akasum's objections. The two would become Kurt's top adjutants over the years. Additionally, while the Spartan 3s were initially intended as cannon fodder, Kurt and Mendez recognized that a number of the trainees were too skilled to be wasted on suicide missions, so they removed them from their respective companies before they were wiped out, gave them Mjolnir armor, and assigned them to other units, some of them becoming Noble Team. With Gamma Company, whom he came to regard as the finest Spartans ever, Kurt secretly added a series of illegal drugs to the augmentation procedures in order to heighten the Spartans' aggressive response, giving them a better chance of survival in battle. This was against the recommendations of Onyx's AI Deep Winter, who was concerned with the Spartans' well-being. Inside the vast core room antechamber of Onyx, Kurt and the Spartans assumed defensive positions around the slipspace portal leading to the Shield World in order to prevent the Covenant from accessing it. As Covenant forces started translocating inside the chamber in increasingly large numbers, it quickly became clear that the humans would soon be overrun. Kurt then ordered the others to enter the slipspace rift before it closed, while he opted to stay behind and detonate the warheads. Kurt commissioned Fred as Lieutenant Junior Grade before sending them to the Shield World in order to give the remaining Spartans a leader to follow. Eventually, only Tom B292 and Lucy B091 remained, hesitant to leave Kurt behind. Knowing they could not be convinced otherwise, Kurt knocked Tom out with a punch and hefted him into the rift. Though reluctant, Lucy finally obeyed Kurt's orders and stepped through the portal as well. Kurt, now alone and mortally injured from a previous firefight, listed the Spartans fallen in battle as MIA, including himself, alongside his former identity as Spartan 051. He successfully delayed the Covenant forces until the slipspace portal had closed. In his death throes, Kurt had a vision of all the fallen Spartan 2s and Spartan 3s by his side, nodding and giving the thumbs up signal, forging his resolve to complete his one final task. Fleetmaster Voronar Manticree then approached him, gloating that once the demon was dead, the Covenant would reopen the Shield World portal. Laughing in determination, Kurt replied, "Die? Didn't you know? Spartans never die," and detonated the warheads, wiping out the Covenant army and thus preventing the Covenant from following his comrades and gaining access to the technologies inside the Shield World. Kurt died in the end as a brilliant commander in the eyes of those he had known, and as a noble hero who cared deeply for his Spartan 3s and Spartan 2s as comrades and friends, John included. After the conclusion of the Human Covenant War in 2553, his still intact Spartan armor transponder was detected by the UNSC Glamorgan in the debris field that was formerly Onyx, leading to the rescue of remaining UNSC personnel in the Shield World. In honour of Kurt, Dr. Halsey, with Admiral Parangoski's approval, named the Micro-Dyson Sphere Oni Research Facility Trevelyan. At first, Chief Mendez suggested the name Ambrose, but Halsey opted that they use Kurt's real name, lest he ever be forgotten.
Thanks for watching. Stick your comments down below, I look forward to what you have to say. I want to give a quick shout out to my patrons and YouTube members Neek the Silent Cartographer, Siphonik Storm and Todd Morrison, my Tier 0 Transcendients, Brian, Sebastian, Darian, Red Sea, Stalk of the Realms, Falcon X003, Starlight, Alvin, Flaming Halo, Josh, Legions Lost, Kyle, Cat Erdicam, Schneidish, Leon, Ignizzle, Chris, Cooper, Prophet, and Devon, the holders of the mantle, my glorious reclaimers, my loyal metarchs, and all the other patrons and YouTube members that have jumped aboard to support the channel. Much love to you guys, thanks so much for your support. It's keeping things happening and helping development of the channel and future awesomeness in a big way. If you like Halo lore discussed to insane levels of detail, hit that subscribe button and the little bell icon so you're told the second a new video hits the shelves. Be sure to support us on all major social media channels, including Discord, and if you really love the channel, consider heading over to Patreon and supporting the channel over there, or jumping on as a channel member. It means the world to me and affords you loads of great perks and bonuses, while also helping work towards some awesome stuff in the near and distant future. Take it easy everyone, and find peace in the domain.